I'm recording it, so I'll send it to him, so he'll be able to pick up on all this.
Okay, perfect. Sounds good. Basically, now I got to try to remember all the questions I had.
Sorry, no problem.
Yeah, let me just kind of start with some of the numbers. We got the universal signal coming out on Monday, and we're able to look at. I'm sure.
You want me to pull up the new deck?
Yeah, pull up the new deck, and if we go over those numbers, and I know Marcos is going to have some questions.
Okay, sounds good. Let's go. Let's start with that.
Yeah, so just as a reminder, Marcos, on Monday, which is tomorrow, they're launching the universal signal, which is designed for the masses. And,
just one quick. Scott's asking me, is he going to send the new link?
Oh, good.
Yeah, I can bring him in here.
That's great.
Okay, sounds good. So just send him the link quick, and then he can join.
Yeah, I've sent it to him.
Cool. That's great.
So while we're waiting for him, I'll just reiterate, we're launching the advanced signals, which is designed for the mass market. The parameters that triggered that signal in the last 14 months, it pretty much indicates 4 to 6 trades a year, John. Not a lot of trades.
Last year was 7.
7 trades. So very few trades in a year, so that the masses can do this without getting all anxious that they missed a signal. And also, since it's writing longer term trends, if somebody's days late getting to the signal, it's not a big deal. They're not going to lose out on a lot. So it's decreasing the anxiety level for your average person who doesn't want to be a trader. So that's launching tomorrow, and John can go over some of those numbers and address your questions about that. And then the daily signal is being rebranded to be called the advanced signal, to make it really clear to people coming in the difference between the two, so that they know where they should really start. So for example, if somebody knows that they're not really good at trading, it'll be obvious they should do the universal signal. If they want to graduate up and they like what they're seeing as they're getting more familiar, they can graduate up to the advanced signal. So that's the concept behind the rebranding there.
Excellent. Now, I forgot to ask a very important question. So many people in the cryptocurrency sector now are very, very concerned about who are the owners, what's the name of the owner, can you see the buildings, can you visit the offices? I have I don't know anything about Unifii as far as that level is concerned. So do you guys know if there's any evidence as far as that fact? I mean, not that that necessarily means anything. For me, it's not a big issue. But, I mean, for a lot of the people that I'm working with, it is.
because they've been burned, and they don't know how to figure out, is this real, is this not real, because they've been burned by fake.
Yeah.
And that's one of these. They feel like if there's a brick and mortar place you can go to, then that must mean it's real. Of course, that doesn't mean anything. But
no, it doesn't.
And the irony is, some of the biggest money games that are coming out of Asia and Europe right now, they're actually hiring management teams that become the fall guy. So they have the appearances of a straight up legit. They have offices. Means nothing. Right. But anyway, the bottom line is the company is based and registered in Europe and in Canada. It's a Canadian company. In Ottawa, which is not far from Toronto, is where the CEO and the CTO reside. We've got a training facility that's open right now in the Philippines, and we'll continue to open them in various markets as we feel appropriate. As far as a work office location that someone could visit, first of all, I have had some leaders fly to Ottawa to meet the owners, and they're open to and welcome that, but they don't have a physical location because they're both quite successful gentlemen and just work out of large home offices. We do have an extended tech team. We actually have more than one extended tech team. One of them is in Silicon Valley, and one of them is in Eastern Europe.
Oh, wow. Mm-hmm. Okay, that is pretty impressive, I confess.
I should emphasize, is it London? Where are they registered?
They're registered in London, and the reason is we wanted to. So, I'm sure you already know this, Marcos. the three strikes that are against us as far as credit card merchant processors go is A, we're an MLM, B, we're involved in Bitcoin, and there was a third one as well, MLM, Bitcoin, and anyway, there's three. Sorry, online. Yeah, online. So we're like at the bottom of the list for merchant processing. We did have a company that has a very unique angle to allow and protect themselves and protect our membership in regards to credit card merchant processing. And the way they do it behind the scenes, it's not obvious on the front end. It just looks like you're paying with your credit card. But behind the scenes, what's actually happening is they're buying a gift card, the value of our sign up, and the gift card immediately is being used to pay for their membership. And the reason that that's an advantage is that when they buy the gift card, then they actually click a box that's terms and conditions saying that we understand that this is, we're locked into this purchase and we cannot do a chargeback, because it's the chargebacks that ultimately kill the company and really hurt merchant processing. Does that make sense?
I think so.
But in other words, we wanted to offer credit cards.
On the consumer side, John, on the consumer side, it doesn't look any different than a regular credit card process.
Yeah, it looks the same.
But what John's describing is behind the scenes, it's set up in a way where people can't sign up, use the signals, and then get their money back. And the reason why this is important is because credit card companies typically don't want to process new MLM companies that do most of their business online with Bitcoin. So this is a way that they were able to overcome that.
And the reason it matters to the membership is because we pay out 70%, we need to protect ourselves as a company not to make a huge hit and hurt the members at all.
I see. Very interesting.
Now, going back to the question that you're saying that you're, some people are going to wonder where the company's, registered and all this stuff. London isn't Dubai or wherever the hell USI was. They weren't even in Dubai. I think that's a strong point to make, that when the owners reside in Canada and the company is registered in London, you've got to abide by a completely different set of rules than if you're in some, strange location that's outside the jurisdiction of real law.
So what have they done as far as U.S. compliancy?
Well, the nice thing is there is none. So what we're doing is we're operating as what we call a financial publisher. And so if you go to the website and you click the terms and conditions, all the legal docs will pop up as to exactly what those laws are and how to operate properly within those laws. This really simple way of looking at it is this. Do we accept money from people? Do we manage people's money, or do we manage their assets? And if the answer is yes, there's no way around it. You must have a securities license.
I see.
And that's what we were talking about last time, Marcos, is in no way do they take our money and invest it for us. In no way do they promise returns to us based on money we've given them. We are in complete control, and that prevents any requirement with securities, which is where all the other companies that, burn people, they were operating as securities illegally. We come to find out later.
Yeah, any crypto scheme that you could look up online right now that's managing someone's money for them, that's paying, let's say, a percentage a day, for example, that would be under definition managing their resources for them. Every single one of those companies is operating illegally. Doesn't matter what the dog.
Sorry, I missed the word.
Illegally.
Illegally.
It doesn't matter what the backstory is. It doesn't matter what the office looks like. It doesn't matter who's involved. They're breaking the law. And the reason you can know that for certain is that the FCA in the Europe and the SEC in the US will not issue securities licenses to MLM companies ever. So if you ever get pitched anything where the company manages your resources for you, they're operating illegally. So the question one needs to ask themselves is, am I catching this money game early enough where I can make some money, or do I just want to not risk it and not bother firing any Bitcoin off to them?
Interesting.
So it's really easy to cut through the shit that way.
Well, and if you're in the United States, you can expect, if you make any money at all, you're going to get a call from one of the state SEC offices. For my involvement in USI, I had to spend about 80 hours collecting every email that I ever sent talking about USI, send my prospect list and my report. It was like this massive thing, but I actually ended up learning a lot, like what John is sharing right now about what a security is and what they're going to, what is reality. I would have never gotten involved, of course, with USI if I knew that. And so a lot of what we're doing is educating people about that as well, like just making sure they understand that. Like for Marcos, for you, a lot of this is new. If I hadn't talked to the SEC, I would have been fuzzy on this stuff. A lot of people just still don't know. So
you investigated into the SEC itself, huh?
Yeah, and they dropped it when I proved to them that the Chicago law firm, forgot their name, Hart Davis Ellis, had put out a legal opinion letter saying it's completely legal. And I said, how the hell do you expect me and people like me to know more than a law office in Chicago that's been in business for 20 years? And then after that, I saw their whole focus went on that. And
on them, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
But nonetheless, if I wouldn't get involved with any one of those again. I wouldn't have a good excuse after that. After that point, so I won't touch anything like that. And
interesting. Wow.
Yeah.
So basically, this company just simply operates as information about, it's like, in other words, you're just sharing tools. You're just sharing. These are tips of what you can do to manage your own money. Exactly. We are not managing your money for you.
That's right. Anything that we do that is what could be considered advice has to be member to member. So we do have member to member support groups that we steer clear of. We're not in those groups. They have to operate under certain legal parameters, but we do have support groups for the people that do want to trade, actual trade. They don't want just a done-for-you product. And those members are using, I'll run through this data really, really quickly.
Okay, sure.
So first of all, what's really important is we have to have a disclaimer, a legal disclaimer, and it says basically don't risk capital you can't afford to lose. And the reason we have to offer the disclaimer is because you're doing the trading. We're not doing it for you. So the first tool that we offer is Prosperity U. It's education. It's a university. It's constantly being added to, tweaked, and adjusted. And it will ultimately be the biggest part of the platform as it continues to expand. And then the universal signal, I'll tell you from a marketing perspective, my aim always is to try to find the simplicity, money game simplicity, with sort of long-term legal legitimacy. And you're just kind of always walking that fine line. So again, the effort here was to create an algorithm, and we actually invested in AI to help with our calculations to make sure that this thing would be successful long-term, because this is only going to market on Monday. So the timing is quite good. Over the last 13 months, there was only 7 trades from this particular algorithm. So it's meant to be as easy to use as you could possibly get from a real and legitimate product.
I see.
So the way one would use it is they would check their smartphone once a day. It takes 30 seconds. You log into your back office. If we're in a buy, it's a green box. You can see on the screen there what it would look like. It's always a green box. Maybe a month later, it turns to red. You log in, you make the adjustment in your exchange or in your wallet, whichever you choose to use. It's entirely up to you, and that's it. You're participating. So 7 trades over the course of a year, and a starting value, hypothetical value, ran from 5K to 34K. So obviously quite a successful algorithm with a fairly small starting capital. The fees are tiny because you only made 7 trades. So almost a 600% increase with the universal signal. And that's about a 15.5% monthly average. If we compare that to just buying Bitcoin and hanging on to it, it's about 4 times better than that. Okay?
Nice.
So it's really trying to create something that doesn't require you becoming a full-time babysitter. And then for the advanced signal, this is where all the support groups already exist. So you still don't have to be a babysitter. There's guides, advanced Telegram guides, Telegram notifications to smartphones, chat groups, etc., and so forth. All that stuff already exists. Now, this signal is a lot more frequent. It's about 1 a day, 1 every 2 days. But the thing that's really cool about it is that in addition to just using the signal, we also teach members how to set stop losses, how to move or set trailing stops, how to take profit when those opportunities exist. And they all kind of hang out together in the same chat group, whether they're at work and they're just popping into the Telegram group to see what's going on, or whether they're at home. But you don't have to be plastered in front of your computer all the time. You kind of stay in touch with everyone through the chat group. So the results for that over exactly the same period of time, you can see the difference from 7 trades in the universal all the way up to 228 trades for the advanced. Now, the winning percentage is smaller, 54%, but generally the wins pay twice as much as the losses do. And that's why it's a strong signal. So this ran from 5K up to 39 over the same period of time. But look at the fees. The fees are $7,000 because there's 228 trades. Still, almost a 700% increase over the course of a year, and a monthly gain that's pretty strong compared to buy and hold, same buy and hold numbers. So that's it. It's really, you're either all in with the advanced or you're doing basically nothing with the universal. And we really wanted to make it that extreme.
Nice. Pretty Bitcoin buy and hold.
Now, the other thing that we do, we compile advanced signal data every week, and we show our membership, here are the signals that came in. And if you use all of the advanced strategies that are in that guide, this is how much money you could have made that week.
John, is that the guide you that's in the resources section in the site?
That's it, with the coffee cup and the keyboard.
And then that includes how to do stop loss.
It's all in there. Right from the very, very beginnings, how to start your own Binance account, how to set up a dedicated email for the signals, how to protect yourself when it's all in there. And it's only 22 pages long, so it's not like it requires any kind of a degree to understand it.
Wow, so this is with the advanced signals starting out with only 5,000?
Yeah.
This is an average, correct?
Yeah, this is an average, yeah. Average 16.5% monthly. The reality is, Marcos, if you use the strategies we talk about, you can do a lot better than that.
With the stop loss. With the stop loss.
Stop losses, taking profits, et cetera. Like, for example, last week, there was 3 opportunities to take profit. When we take profit, usually, and what we teach people in the guide is, if you are, let's say, in a buy, and you see your signal rise 3%, we take profit. Now, we either take 100% profit or we take 50%, and it depends on the trend. So if you have an upwards trend, generally you're going to take half the profit because it's going to continue. If it reverses and you have an opportunity, so all of that stuff is in the guide. I pay attention to it only because I need to know it. I wouldn't do this. This is for the 5 people out of 100 that want to do this stuff. The 95% are going to focus on the do nothing from the universal signal.
I see.
It's just important that we have both markets covered.
So that's under the advanced signals that you would do that, right?
Yeah, the universal signal, you're not doing anything like that at all, ever.
Okay, and that basically is a step-by-step guide that teaches, tells you exactly how to do it. Like, do you have that all written out?
It's done.
Yeah, it's really clean. It's really concise. And then again, there's the Telegram group with live support from members, including Troy, who is very advanced in his ability to trade.
And where do you access it?
All in your back office. And don't forget, Prosperity U is there as well. So everything they talk about in the PDF, there's also a video teaching you about it.
I see. Okay, so I've already joined and I'm already a member, so basically I have access to all this information.
Yeah.
Correct? So basically what I would have to do now is join an exchange and then somehow link my exchange up to Telegram or something like that? How does that work?
No, the question I would have for you, if I was your sponsor, I would say, so really, what are you looking to accomplish with your membership? Are you looking just to participate at a basic level and earn some trading results with a minimal amount of input? Or you really want to get involved and learn advanced trading and be in front of your phone on an ongoing basis?
I see. I would definitely want to be looking at my phone at an ongoing basis.
Okay. I'm going to show you the rest of this presentation that's geared towards the 95%, because obviously that's the much larger group. One of the things that we do in this deck, Marcos, is we highlight the fact that we are legally very different from the money game type concepts, that you're always in full control. Whether you use an exchange or an online wallet, it's your wallet. We didn't set it up for you. It's your passwords. And we never make a penny from your trading activities. No different than, go ahead.
I was just going to say, just so Marcus knows, just the immediate answer to his question is all you got to do is set up an account with Binance.
Okay.
And then you're good to go. Like, and then you're trading between Bitcoin and USDT, which is like the US equivalent coin.
And so if basically, once I set up an account with Binance, which actually I already created a Binance account a while ago, but it's empty. I've done nothing with it. I just created an account. So I can just log into that account and then just get started by following.
The advanced signal will say buy it. Like the other day, like a couple days ago, before it shot up, it said buy at 6,350. It shot up to 6,700 something. It said sell. Like the next day, then it dropped down to like 6,650. It said buy. So you're getting buzzed on your phone from Telegram saying, hey, log in for the new signal. And you log in real fast on your phone, and it shows you if you're supposed to buy or sell.
I see. Now, how much time do you get? Like,
that's an advanced question that the other Telegram group can help you kind of figure out how to set up stop loss in case you're asleep. You know what I mean? Like, let's say you fall asleep and you get buzzed and you miss it. In the advanced Telegram group, they teach you how to set up a stop loss. So if it shoots up while you're sleeping or it drops way down, you're protected.
Okay, that's interesting.
But that's why it's advanced, because most people don't want to dink around with that stuff. But if those that want to learn it, it's here, and it's still kept very, very simple.
I see. And would you say that the advanced, the capabilities of earning some massive gains compared to the universal are much greater? Like, what would you say if you just let the universal sit there and just grow, compared to putting all your energy and your mind and your attention toward the advanced? What would you say the differences in gains would be? Pretty good compared?
I would still do the universal, and I'll show you why.
This is universal?
I would. And I'll tell you, the only reason for me is I'm not a detail guy, so I would be forcing myself to do something I normally wouldn't do. I'll show you some universal numbers that are part of this presentation, and then after that, we'll see what your answer to the question will be.
Okay, well, just real quick. With the universal, are the gains more long-term, but the advanced are more gains more short-term?
Well, you'll gain more short-term with the advanced. There's no doubt about it, because it teaches you how to squeeze every dollar out of the trades.
Because I might need that right now, because I need something, just to get a little capital, and then I can switch back to the universal.
Sure. Actually, I'll show you even a better way to get capital. I can do that for you in about 30 seconds.
Okay.
So this third principle we talk about, and this relates, we tie this directly to the universal signal, is compounding. Albert Einstein, by the way, I've noticed him right behind you, Mike.
Yeah, he's my friend.
Compounding, Einstein talked about, he called the eighth wonder of the world, because it is nothing short of amazing. I'm going to show you some really quick numbers. Now, if you recall, when we were talking about the universal signal, we showed you an average over the past 13 months of 15.45% monthly increase, which is insane. It's really insane. The average mutual fund offers 20% for the year. So what we're going to do is we're going to throw in some slightly more conservative numbers of 8.5%, which is still insane. So what I'll do with this calculator, by the way, every member that joins has access to their own calculator on their own site. So they can open their smartphone, pull up to this calculator, and hand it to a friend over coffee. So check this out. I could start with a starting balance as small as, in this case, $500, but you want to give compounding a little bit of time to work its magic. So we're going to say 72 months. We're going to run $500 over 72 months at 8.5% per month. Any idea?
All right, say that one more time.
$500 starting capital. That's all. One-time payment, 72 months, earning 8.5% per month compounded.
Just give it.
What's our total in 72 months? Almost 200K. Now check this shit out, dude. What if I could scrape up $100 a month, and that's getting added to my starting? So 72 months, I'm going to pay $100. My 177 turns into 600K. Wow. If I could scrape up an extra $100, it climbs to $1 million in 72 months. So for the amount of time someone's going to pay off a new car with $500, you could show someone how to make $1 million.
That's insane.
That's the universal do nothing signal. That's why I say, why the hell would I be tied to my cell phone?
That's why the hell what?
I said, why the hell would I be tied to my cell phone? This is the do nothing signal. This is seven trades in a year.
I see. So basically the advance would be something you would want to focus on if you need some instant capital, you think, and then you'd switch.
If someone needs instant capital, listen, the answer to the question is, if someone needs instant capital, I'm going to show you one more thing. This is the instant capital solution. It'll just take me 30 seconds to find this deck for you.
Okay, sure.
Apologies. I've just been building so many PowerPoints recently.
No problem.
Okay. So what we've done just recently to coincide with this new signal release, we also tweaked the first bonus that's part of our compensation model. And the challenge for us when we were developing the company was we wanted a low entry point. We wanted people to be able to afford to participate. And we wanted people to understand. So the money games, one of the reasons people love the money games is that they don't have to do anything at all, nothing.
Right.
And they see in their back office that their net is increasing, even though it's just on paper, it's not real money. And there's no subscription. So the reason the money games took off in Asia and that spilled over to North America and Europe was they didn't have to pay every month. So it was all the big American product companies that were charging $100 and $150 a month in the Philippines and Thailand, et cetera. And when the money games really started to fly, they could see that as an opportunity to make money without having to be out of pocket every month. The problem, of course, is those are temporary businesses and they don't last for more than 6 months to 12 months. You absolutely have to have that ongoing cash coming in to really smash it out of the park. So we wanted to make sure we had a very low entry point and a low monthly. The other thing we wanted to do, though, for our friends in the Philippines, Thailand, Indo, and other places like that, was we wanted to make sure it was very easy for them with just a minimal amount of activity to have their subscription covered. So we created a 70% payout, what we call a referral bonus. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's an exponentially growing model. So instead of getting, let's say, like a 10% fast start bonus from selling $500 worth of skincare, it's actually a multiple gen bonus. So it has that ability to grow exponentially. And what we've done is it started out as 5 gen, but we recently added 2 more. And I will show you what that converts into for cash. So the building model that I teach is I basically what I'll instruct people to do is to pick 3 people they want to work with and no more than that. And I just show them how to build this out exponentially. So 3 bring 3, bring 3, 3 bring 3. And if you notice in the numbers here, $60 every time I bring someone in, $60 from a $279 sign up. So my friends in the developing markets, it's a big chunk of cash for them. It's easy for them to move forward. The best part is 3 bring 3 over. So I bring my first 3 in. All I need is 4 more generations of growth to create $16,000, which is normally what they would make in a whole year of network marketing. and I can show them how to do this in 4 to 6 weeks.
When you're earning this money, are you getting paid in Bitcoin or dollars?
You're getting paid in Bitcoin.
Oh, good. That's amazing. So basically when let's say they sign up with a credit card though, but they don't sign up with Bitcoin. Will you get paid in Bitcoin value of the amount of dollars they came in at that time? Nice.
Still getting paid in Bitcoin, and it won't be too long before we've also got your own Visa debit card where you can throw your BTC on the card and go spend it wherever you want. So here's the cool thing though, by adding 2 more generations, if you notice the numbers filling in, all we've done is we've taken the same 70% payout and we've spread it out over 7 generations versus 5. But that's 2 more generations of exponential growth. Now the theory is this: if you are communicating well enough with your team where they're continuing to bring 3 who bring 3, and you can do that for generations 4 and 5, chances are you're also going to be able to do that for generations 6 and 7. But look at the difference in the payout, $87,000.
And this is just the earnings that you're making on referrals. This is not
first bonus.
What's that?
Just on the first bonus.
Just on the first bonus, and that's not even counting, of course, the earnings on the actual trading, and that's not counting, of course, all the other bonuses.
Absolutely. And imagine, for example, remember we threw $500 over 72 months. Imagine if you did this and you started with 50 grand. In 72 months, you'd have over $10 million.
Wow.
And you're not using your own money. You're using the company's money.
Of course you can, this is open in UK as well?
Yeah. In fact, we deliberately dropped the cost of the product because $279 is under 200 pounds, which makes it straight across the board legal anywhere in the UK.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, this is the easiest thing for them to build.
Wow. Yeah, my girlfriend lives in the UK, and she could do this too.
And of course, again, the FCA, which is even more of a watchdog, some argue, in Europe than the SEC is in the States. Everything we're doing is completely compliant with laws there as well.
Are the founders of this company from the United States, or are they? It doesn't matter. They are from the United States?
Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
So I'm one of the founders.
All right. Wow.
So we've been racking our brains because my background in network marketing was all straight up product, right? I still make 5 figures a month from a company that I stopped building 18 years ago. And so the goal was to create a similar circumstance in the crypto space, because so far, 100% of the crypto offerings have been bullshit. 100%. We wanted to bring a long-term legacy play that you would normally get from an Amway, Herbalife, or Shackley, bring it to the crypto world.
Wow. That's pretty fascinating. I tell you, it can be very confusing though, because there's so many companies that are coming out now, all claiming that they're now legit, and they've already, I'm sure there are some other legit ones out there that are not, that are pretty compliant, but this one seems like it's really got the proof for it.
I just haven't seen any others that don't manage your resources. Every single one of them is saying, send us your Bitcoin.
I see.
Send us your Bitcoin. Send us your Bitcoin. And then they all piss off and go live on the beach.
Right, exactly. I hear you.
Didn't you say somebody was doing well handing out cards or something, John, in Southeast Asia, saying stop giving away your Bitcoin?
One of my leaders in the Philippines, she made some business cards that said, stop giving your Bitcoin away to strangers.
Well, the only one that I know of right now that I've been kind of waiting for a while, on the side, I'm the type of person that I'll work with. I'm not like, I'm not one of those Amway people that are look at the company religiously. Like, this is what this is where God saved me, so I'll stick with it. I've run into MLMers like that. They become religiously affiliated with a network marketing company rather than intelligently working with network marketing companies. Sure. And you have to work with whatever works and whatever is going to bring you the actual money and whatever's legitimate, no matter what. The one I was looking at, of course, was Vista Network, and they do claim they're not running the resources, but what they do is basically they sell machines, and you buy those machines and you plug them in, and then they have a pool. And then you only earn with the product. that you purchased, they say.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
they've got programs like that in Hong Kong and in China as well. I've been familiar with those for a while. Nice.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot out there, and it's really hard to it's really hard to sometimes break it all down in your mind as to how to understand whether what they're claiming as legitimate really is legitimate.
The only thing that I would suggest is this: if they have any sort of affiliation with the U.S. and they're mining based, they could be putting themselves in jeopardy.
Okay.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with you buying mining equipment and plug it in yourself. Nothing wrong with that. Mining is being considered a security now in the U.S.
Okay, I guess that's why they did move away from mining, and now they're just selling the machines. Interesting. Okay, that makes sense.
So here's ultimately, from one leader to another, the way that I look at things: cost of getting involved, payout for getting involved, action steps I need to take for the amount of payout I want to make. What kind of marketing pieces do I have? Like, for example, that calculator. And so that's the kind of stuff that I'll typically look at. Can I get 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people to look at a presentation that's 10 minutes long? Can they go to a calculator, start punching in numbers, be fascinated, and then eagerly want to go share that with others? If the answer is yes, then you may have a license to print money.
That's pretty cool.
So that's it. That's the stuff. I'm a cynic by heart. By nature, I guess I'm just a bit of a cynic. I'm always looking at the what can go wrong scenario. And that's why we wanted to make sure we had a solid legal footing everywhere. That's why we wanted to make sure that we were under $300. And we wanted to make sure we had a really high payout.
Interesting. Wow. Well, I'm impressed so far. I'm getting a little more excited as time goes on.
It's a strong project.
Takes me a long time to get excited about a company, a long time, because I've been so burnt out. So, I haven't even watched any presentations on this yet. I'll be honest with you. That was actually my on my bucket list to do actually today and the following days. But I've been very, very tied up lately with my father's declining health with his vascular.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, his vascular dementia is getting very, very more intense, and mass in his kidney, and it's been a lot of tearful moments in the family.
I bet. Is this been going on for some time?
It's gotten to the point where sometimes it's hard for me to focus on business at all because
of course
it's so difficult with what he's going through with his health.
Right.
So I mean, we have heard some recent news that he's actually more calm and doing a little bit better. So what we're going to be doing also is helping him get better the natural way, because all they're doing is pumping him up with drugs and stuff. So we're going to be working through the medical route, but to help him get better naturally. So there's a bright light at the end of the tunnel, I believe.
That's good.
And we just have to keep working with him to get better. So all I'll be doing for the next few weeks is helping him with his health.
Yep.
And focusing on business. Both at the same time.
You're certainly never, ever going to regret the extra time you spend with him now.
No, absolutely. Yeah. So, yes, that's the only reason why it's been just a little bit difficult for me to focus on watching videos like I've wanted to. And
yeah. I understand, and that makes perfect sense. And so you have to move forward at your pace. I also understand where you're coming from with financial needs, and I get it. So the way that I would mark this, Marcos, is honestly, I would tell my friends that you're only going to select 3 people to work. This is the anti-crypto company. Basically.
I'm sorry, you're going to have to repeat the part. Only stick 3 people what? Because it's echoing.
I'm not sure why we started echoing all of a sudden.
Yeah, I don't know why either. But 3 people what? Say that again.
Has it gone away?
Yeah,
it's gone away. Okay. So what I would do is I would teach exponential growth right from the start. I would show people on Monday when that little calculator launches, I would show people how to use that calculator. And I'd say, here's a 10-minute video that walks through all of these things that we've just talked about. Here's the calculator. Go talk to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever it takes. Select 3 people that want to run with you and stop. That's it. And you will blow this thing out exponentially, create that quick $87,000, and then Bob's your uncle. You're just flying after that. It's the only way that I would do it.
Fascinating. So the thing that people need to understand right off from the start is that this company is not managing your resources whatsoever when it comes to trading. They're only providing you the educational tools how to properly trade on companies like Binance or exchanges like Binance and what other Bittrex.
Any of them. If you're using the so if you're dealing with the advanced signal, there's 2 exchanges we work with. If you're dealing with the universal signal, anything you want, doesn't matter, because there's only 7 trades. The only reason you pick a specific exchange is some of the exchanges, when you're doing 200 and 300, 400 trades in a year, the fees are too high. They hurt you.
Oh.
That's the only reason you pick certain exchanges, right?
Okay, so let's say you pick the universal. Is the universal automatic, or is it you still have to do?
Automatic is legally allowed. So what happens with the universal? Once a day for 1 minute, I log into my phone, and let's say I'm on a buy. So it's green. I log in. Is it green? Put my phone down. Next day, I log in. Green. Put my phone down. A month later, I'll log in. It's red. Oh, no problem. I switched from a buy to sell. Done. And I'll do that 6, 7, 8 times in a year. That's all I will do with the universal. It's beyond idiot proof.
How are you able to make that much, a lot of money though, if it's just so few times a year?
Because long-term trend based, and we're focusing on. Don't forget, it's the compounding of the gains as well.
Okay. Interesting.
So you're giving it 6 years, right? 72 months was that calculation. Remember the average gain? Remember 15%?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So if I start with $1,000 and made $150 in the first month, well, now my new principal is $1,150. Right? So the next month, if I make that same money, I'm making the 15 points on 1,150. So now I'm at 1,004. I'm already up, right? Because that's the way the compounding works.
Okay.
Right? And that's why we teach right from the beginning. We talk about Prosperity University. So we're not just giving you signals. We're focusing on helping you increase your financial IQ and understanding some of these concepts that wealthy people have been using for decades.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, think about how many people, and this is what I've been saying to people, Marcos, you might want to integrate this in too. How many people blow $500 on a trip, or like on a week of fun or whatever, clothes, or a down payment on a car they didn't really need to upgrade into, because they don't know how much that $500 is really worth.
I see.
You know what I mean? And then everyone doesn't have any money, so then they get pissed off about that, and then they go run their credit cards out to make themselves happy because they feel like there's no hope. They can never get ahead. I mean, that's what's happening out there, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then they're depressed because now they got all this credit card bill. Now they don't know what to do. It's like, it's nuts. Everyone's in this anxious state, and they don't have any control over anything. They don't understand the power of compounding or how to use it. So that's one reason why I'm so excited about this. And you talked about the other programs. I haven't seen any other program that just really zoomed in, narrowed down, focused on that one thing so well, which is what really everybody needs. They need to understand the power of compounding. They need to know how to take $500 and just $100 a month and turn that into wealth. The wealthy people, you take any wealthy person who made it themselves, and you take all their money away. This is what they're doing. They won't be buying things. They won't be maxing out their credit cards. They'll be plugging into whatever the best compounding method is at that time. And they always, after about 5 years, they're rich again. It's over and over again. So I'm excited about teaching that. It's a simple concept. That's why you have to have a simple concept to build a huge distribution network. The company is as conservative as they can be on regulatory, on everything, so that we're going to be here for a long time. So this is why I'm so excited about it. Teaching those basic concepts to average everyday people that are willing to listen, turn their life around.
Nice. So what do we have as far as funnel systems, capture pages, and things like that? So
John's producing a presentation right now that's with the updated data, talking about the calculator, talking about the advanced signal data. So I'll share that with you as soon as that's out. I'm creating my own funnels that are kind of more niche. Like I'm looking for people who want to make 7 figures. I'm looking for people like you who have large lists that just need to get where I'm at and understanding what's going on and, put some energy into it. And then I can help you with the people coming in with calls like this, right? Because I want to build a big network. I want to plant as many seeds as I can. Because as the months and years go on with this company, pretty soon the confidence is going to be so insane. Pretty soon the confidence will have the consistent confidence. It's going to explode. So I'm just planting as many seeds as I possibly can. But I'm producing my own funnels that are niche audiences, people that are kind of think like you do. John's coming out with a presentation for the masses, which will be out. When's it out? Tomorrow, John?
Yep. Calculators out tomorrow. Videos are out tomorrow. PDFs out tomorrow.
Nice. Exciting.
It really is. So yeah, sorry you got some tough things going on, Marcos, and I wish you the best with that. I took care of my mom in my home when I was probably 31. I had 2 young kids, age 2 and like just born. And there was my mom in hospice care, and laying in a bed, and she passed away there. But I took care of her for a few months. So it was extreme insane. And then I was doing webinars trying to pump everybody up and get everyone excited. It was like, so I know where you're at with like just the challenge of taking care of family like that. It's tough, but it sounds like there's still a lot of hope there. So yeah, spend as much time as you need to with them. I'll certainly keep supporting you and how I can through this tough time. Cause like, for example, when the presentation comes out with John, I'll just send that to you, watch it when you can. I'll keep you in touch with what's going on. And then when you're ready to get some traction on it, I'll be here to help you build the organization.
Thank you very much. Yeah, pretty much I have not been able to build anything successfully since the days of GladiaCoin. I don't know if you guys heard of GladiaCoin.
Yeah.
Sure.
That was that believe it or not, that's how I learned about Bitcoin.
A lot of people learn from stuff like that.
It was GladiaCoin that I learned about Bitcoin, and in my mind, I thought GladiaCoin and Bitcoin somehow went together. I didn't understand. I had no clue. I'm like, okay, so this is the coin, and this is the company that works with the coin, and you just put the coin in it, and then it grows. Okay, and then you refer others, and that's how it works. And it's like, finally, it hit me one day. Wait a minute. There's 100 companies out there coming out that are all like GladiaCoin.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, so the coin is legit, but the company that may be telling you to invest the coin into them may not be legit. I'm like, okay. Then I was getting a little scared.
Jetcoin came right after, was gone in 3 weeks, and it was just
I lost
so
much money in Jetcoin. I lost so much money in GladiaCoin and eCoin. Around, and then also another one was BitConnect. Oh man, I had like $17,000 and I decided to put everything I had into BitConnect.
Yeah, and you could have done really well.
Wealthy right now if I hadn't invested that money.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got a friend actually. Towards the end when it was becoming obvious BitConnect was going, and she dove in late, and she's in Australia, and she's just a real bulldog. This lady.
Yeah.
And I said, listen, she was in my USANA business for years and years, so I'm kind of protective over her. I said, listen, just do me a favor. You throw as much money into BitConnect as you want to. Don't tell anybody, because it's on its last legs, and losing money is one thing, but the world of hurt you could find yourself in if you get other people to throw a bunch of money in and she just completely ignored me. Some people drew $100,000 against their homes. So now she's got a class action lawsuit registered against her in Australia by her friends.
Wow. Are any of these class action lawsuits working? Are they getting any of their money back?
Well, she can't give any money back. I mean, the bottom line though is she can still get hammered by the courts. It's a sad thing, and I really do feel like we have a duty to bring some clarity to the world around these types of things.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Wow. That's so you guys have really thought all of this through when you created Unifii.
Oh, listen, we've been in this game for some time. The as far as covering our legal bases go, yeah, I mean, we've been around the block. The CEO of the company has been a manager of a product-based company that was in 26 countries. So he's got all of that experience behind him. Our CTO, our technical officer, has been project manager way up the food chain for companies like IBM, Nortel, some big tech companies. So he's been around the block. Yeah, we've got some runs on the board.
They built it. I mean, the only reason why I joined it is because everywhere I looked, comp plan, regulatory issues, the way they create their materials, the simplicity when someone comes in, like 3-minute videos that cover, how to set up Binance when it would take me 30 minutes to do the same video because they're just so concise. Across the board, they set this up to grow huge and to be here for a very, very long time. And that's, as someone building a distribution network, that's what I want, because I want to tap into the compounding. I want to plant the seeds, get people making money, and then just see it explode and keep paying for 10, 15, 20 years. That's my whole motivation.
Exactly.
Whereas these other programs, like I haven't found one other one, and I've been looking hard for like 9 months. I didn't see one that I felt confident is going to be here for more than 3 years. Most of them not even a year. Some of them maybe a few years. There's a certain way you structure the compensation plan that has to incentivize leaders to work many levels deep in the organization. There's a certain understanding of regulatory compliance that I was really well aware of because I spent friggin' 80 hours with Washington State SEC. Like, there's just certain things that you have to know in all these different areas to be able to really be positioned to be here for a very long time. And they covered all their bases, man. It's awesome. Anyway, guys, I gotta drop off. Marcos, if more questions come to mind, let me know. Facebook Messenger is the best way to communicate with me. We have Scott listening in the background. Scott, I know you're at work, so we'll leave you muted, but same with you.
Are there some basic general webinars to join to, like that are held daily, or?
Not from the corporate side. The best thing to do is just to reach out to Mike and myself, and we'll do them for you. For example, if you wanted to completely knock this out of the park on restricted schedule because of the work you're putting in with family, then you would simply do a leaders only call. We would get on that call. We'd pull your leadership in. Then we would schedule the next leaders only call for their leaders. Do that 3 or 4 times in a row. Run your numbers up to a few hundred. You'd kill it.
I have a guy who is just sitting around waiting for me to say when I find the right company and say go. So he's just trusting me, and he has basically all the same concerns and questions exactly as I do concerning any company. So would it be all right if I sent him this recording so that he can get excited about it?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Sounds good.
And then what we would do if we did pull a leaders call together, like I've worked with guys in the past that have built genealogies of, up to 4,000 people over the course of 3 or 4 weeks just by doing this sort of process we talked about. And in the beginning, because a lot of them may have the same questions and concerns, we can just take that approach through the presentation. So we're talking directly to each one of them.
I see. Is this a company, a matrix and a unilevel, or is it also a binary, or how does that work?
It's a matrix in the center, the core foundation, and it's a unilevel on the front end, which is we talked about, and then you have matching matrix bonuses to push people into the stratosphere.
Do you want to pull up a matrix slide real quick?
No, you guys have got to go. It's 12 gen matrix, and we allow you to have 3 reentries, so you can earn volume on top of volume on top of volume. It's pretty badass.
It really is. Right. So, Marcos, I don't know if I went over that with you, but that could be something we earmark.
I believe it. I mean, some guys like you wouldn't be doing it if it wasn't a great comp plan.
Yeah, exactly.
We wanted to make sure that members could hit the $1 million a month plateau on a $300 sign up, which was not easy to do.
Wow, nice. And you figured in all of the long term, whether it gets, because a lot of MLM companies sometimes they cannot handle the volume eventually. They cannot pay out.
That's why we picked the Silicon Valley partner, that tech team. So they've been around the block. You're familiar with Organo Gold. Obviously, they had $1 billion run. These guys built out their infrastructure. So we spent a lot of money on our infrastructure partner to make sure that nothing went sideways on us.
Sweet. That sounds great. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for your time. I'm honored by the fact that you guys are willing to put this time of day with just me. I couldn't believe it. And my friend Scott, of course.
So, well, thanks absolutely, man. Wanted to make sure that you knew what I knew and why I was so passionate about, building this thing out. And like I say, any more questions come up, let me know. We'll get them answered.
All right. Sounds good. All right. You guys take care.
Thanks,
and
guys.
We will definitely be in touch.
All right. Talk to you soon, Marcos. Bye-bye, Scott. Thanks, John.
Bye.
Hey, Scott.